Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're really excited today. Alex just picked up the brand new Ridgid. So this is a little comparison video.
This is the Ridgid 18-volt rear handle saw. It's very similar to Drew's old Milwaukee in terms of using one battery, mounts in the top of the back compartment. We'll talk about the Raptor hooks today, the detents, the saw stops.
The on blade storage is really nice.
Yes.
Or the on.
Oh, the wrench.
That's a sweet setup.
Drew and I have been, in this other video, we got the Makita rear handles, the 36-volt dual 18-volt battery. So on the back here it uses two batteries, which is not bad. So,
I actually like it. The only downfall is they collect a ton of sawdust. If you can see those terminals in there, they just get coated in sawdust. That's the
sawdust we're talking about. So on these, the issue for concern here is on the Makitas, this port is actually open, so when it's charging, they blow air into here to cool the battery off as it's charging, and it exhausts through here. They're very compact, lightweight. They feel cheap. They feel cheap, but they hold a good charge.
Yeah. Charge fast, that charger.
Makita is a Japanese brand, so they're very simple, bare bones, and good tools.
Yeah.
So Drew and I are very partial to this saw. We picked this up because I run the Ridgid line. This is new release. Ridgid was the first one to come out with the old 15 amp corded worm drive rear handle saw in the day. So when this came out, there was a lot of anticipation behind it, so I decided to pick it up, and we were a little let down. So the biggest feature that Drew and I are both let down on would be the exhaust port.
Yeah,
you
that's
cannot be the Makita's exhaust port, which is on the opposite user side. It's actually baffled on the inside of this saw. So when the blade comes around,
oh yeah,
and it baffles and exhausts away from the operator's face.
One really nice thing about the size of this though is like we both have the little battery powered shop backs, and that attachment sets right on here for like if you're inside, you can take your little shop back, click it right on. So that's a nice little feature also.
You're doing like inside cutting. This saw had a dust port on here. It was very, very large. Stuck out right here to where you couldn't get this up.
Wow.
This literally hit the dust collector. You can see when I make a cut here where this dust goes. We'll just demonstrate that first here.
Wow.
I'm covered in dust.
That really shoots it out.
I'm covered in dust. That cut is not to demonstrate the power, how fast this cuts. It is literally just to demonstrate the dust ports. So now you can see Drew will make a cut here, and you need to pay attention to where this exhausts from. So right here, Drew can hold his hand similar, and there's going to be very little collected in his hand.
Well, and because the nice thing is too, because like the way we run our saws, the blade left saw, we always, like I watch my blade or the guard, but it's nice when you can get right down on it if you're making a critical cut and you're not getting sawdust blown in your face.
You can see there's very little dust on this side. It exhausts it all right here.
Which is awesome.
When you're paying attention on the left side of your blade, all your dust is over here, your eyes stay clear. Granted, you should be wearing safety glasses, but
it's kind of like the biggest thing of a design to me.
Yeah,
it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
The other thing, the comparison to that, I would say is 90% similar to the Makita, which I ran for a couple years and I did like it.
You're Milwaukee one.
Or yeah, I'm Milwaukee, which I did like it. Obviously that saw's got a lot more power than this Makita, but the one major thing I would say is how easily the shoe drops for like when you're plunge cutting stringers. That this is padded and it's easy to move back and forth. This is not, has no padding on it, so if it gets wrenched down, I've hit it before with my hand when I had my Milwaukee, and it would hurt like heck. So like this just will fall right into place if I'm plunge cutting. Also, when you grab this blade guard, you can put your thumb on your handle. I don't know if that one's the same, but like this is a very comfortable feeling right here. It's almost like second nature on this saw to push your shoe down, like if you're doing a plunge cut, grab your blade guard, wrap your hand, and you can see my hand's wrapped. I got it pressed down. I'm not anywhere near the blade. So it becomes like second nature when you're in cutting stringers. It's almost like you don't gotta think about it. I don't know what it's like on that saw.
This one just seems a little small, honestly. Like there's not
A big point grab. I think there's some exact.
the very cool. Someone's just flipped.
It would be nice though if there was a nice big target to grab.
This shoe has a huge padded release. This one's not big. It's still pretty smooth, but this has a huge, nice lever. I like that.
And when these were brand new, I feel like this was silky smooth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it probably could use some graphite or something.
This one's not bad, but
The balance point, I would say, is another big issue with the two.
yeah.
Because like, can you comfortably grab that and flip it up? I mean, isn't that?
It takes a little bit. It's definitely like more
Yeah.
front heavy, but it does have a much larger shoe in comparison. So this is 4.5 inches wide. This is 3 inch. This is inch and a half still. But on a true framer saw, this here is 3.5. So if you need to make a 2x4, you run it down this side. If you need to make a 2x6, a 2x4, you run it down this side. It'll make you a 2x4. So
This is a really nice feature. The detent, it's got a deep positive stop detent, and it's really easily readable.
yeah, so it goes right up against your. The top is your deal. You can hear it click maybe.
That is a super nice feature.
So that's pretty nice. Nice aluminum shoe. Again, one battery. Raptor hook's nice.
Rafter hook is a lot better than this one.
Yeah.
Because if you're like these sawhorses are the horses we have, when you go to hang your saw with the Makita, it tends to
Fall down.
do exactly that versus that hook and stop.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more natural to keep, you know, go to grab it, pick it straight up.
This is a huge bonus for Drew and I. Diamond arbor only.
So it's like a true skill set.
Yeah, it's like a true skill saw. So diamond arbor only.
These do not require the knockout. They're just the.
They're just a round 5/8 arbor. Overall, it's a good saw.
It's a good looking saw.
We paid $249 for these, 2 batteries, charger, and deal. This was $349. Came with Ridgid's largest battery, which is originally 200 by itself. So again, probably not a bad deal, but I'm a little. I'll probably run it for a month and see what we think on this next project. And if I don't like it, I'm gonna return it. This dust port's huge for me because I wear contacts, so stuff in my eyes is even more bothersome. But
And I wonder, like the guys that, because I've seen them for the Milwaukee where you plug them.
yeah,
So I wonder if you drill that hole on the opposite side, if it would alleviate all that.
well, I'm gonna try the drill a hole here and put like a conduit deal in there, similar to that, and then just plug this with window weld. So if I need to, I could just chunk it out, but drill that hole. I don't know. This is buzzkill right here, big time. This
When
baby's
they
got
made
some
the
power.
mistake with the Milwaukee, you think they would have resolved it? 'Cause that saw would be freaking an incredible saw. If
Oh,
they
it's
fixed
super
it.
powerful. Have you ran it?
Wow.
It's
That
got
thing
a
is
lot of
powerful.
power.
That's pretty gangster.
It's got a lot of power, but
Look,
it
I mean,
does,
just looking
man.
at, this is a fresh blade on this.
And this is a cheap blade.
Yeah, I mean, that's got a
She's
lot.
got the power. We could get the dust port issue resolved, and heck, maybe it's just a good software on the ground.
Yeah.
You know.
I do feel like the Makita's balanced better.
It is,
But-
the other thing with this one I like is this is very second nature.
Yep.
So this is your safety trigger. when we pull these up, it's just, this is big. It doesn't take much to push it. And it's very, I don't know, this is very user-friendly saw. This one here, you have to actually like click. You know?
Oh, really?
Well, not, it doesn't click, but it's way more press than pushing that thing.
Yeah.
That's just like second nature.
Yep. Which I think it's your on. If I'm gonna grab, I know I'm grabbing the trigger. I don't need a safety.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Until it gets like a kid. You know, you leave this laying out and
True.
a kid gets to it, but
Because like
the other thing this saw has that is money is the light. My mind wants to go to the Ridgid because this is a platform that I use. It uses one battery. When I think of simplicity going to a job site, I'm going to have my Ridgid impact drills, other specialty tools, so I'll have a charger and battery there. Versus this one, now, I really don't know. We're gonna give it a week, couple weeks when we do our next outside framing project. I think Drew and I will definitely put it through its test and have like a more honest review of this, but.
Milwaukee primarily for like my battery tools. It's like Alex's premise right there saying it'd be nice to keep it all. Well, I had the Milwaukee saw, which is very similar, and I actually bought this, and this is the first real platform, second platform I've gotten into, and I will say I would still choose this saw, even though I had to buy separate bags in it. But even then, I still love that saw.
Yeah. This saw is very user friendly.
Yeah.
Like, until I use this, I would lean this way. If you could put this power into this saw, it would be game over, which Drew and I would really love to get into the Makita 40 volt. So the 40 volt is very, very similar to what this setup is. It's a single 40 volt battery.
And then it runs like vertically right here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit lighter. I don't know, this lacks the power after using this, but this has features that are lacking that this carries. So you put a light and the power into this saw and
Oh yeah, that'd be the top.
it would be indestructible.
Which would be interesting to try the DeWalt, because the DeWalt looks very similar to this. It's kind of short and stubby.
Yeah.
Guys say it have plenty of power. I guess I don't know where their dust port is.
Yeah, I don't either. So in terms of pack out, or where you're going to store it or how you're going to store it,
Pretty similar.
it's probably about an inch shorter.
But for some reason, this feels way bigger. Like in your hand.
Oh, and yeah. It looks way smaller. This looks way smaller, more compact.
Only benefit to having a longer rear handle saw like this is if you're cross-cutting sheet goods, that where you can stand on one side, push your saw all the way across, and be able to finish that cut without jumping up, getting a knee up. That is one benefit.
The other thing with like, if you're watching this video and you don't have a rear handle saw, why do framers like a rear handle saw? Well, in today's practices, everything is engineered eye joists. So what this has is a 13-inch shoe. So when you go to plunge cut through that first layer of an eye joist, and then it dips down into it, and then you have to get back up into the top one. A 13-inch shoe on 11 7/8 eye joist fits that, so you can cut across, and then the front part of the shoe will catch the next piece, and it will cut all the way across smooth for you instead of going down, up, down, up. So that's why.
So this truly isn't a.
That should be 13 inches. It should be the same. A little bit shorter, but these should be 13 inches for that purpose. I was watching Canadian Carpenter explain that.
That's good though.
So
yeah,
just larger materials for framers and.
It's a lot. Running a rear handle saw for if this is like a homeowner watching this video. I started out on a sidewinder when I worked for a company when I was new, and I could not cut a straight line with the sidewinder blade right saw to save my life. I don't know why. Blade left saws, I just feel like they're so much easier to cut with. You can see your blade. You can either watch, your indicator mark. I like to watch the blade, but just to be able to see your work. I never understood the sidewinder.
So what Drew's talking about is this blade, when you're holding it in your hands, turn it this way a little bit. when you're holding it in your hand is on the left side of the saw. If it's on the right side, that would be a blade right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously you can
What's
only,
the benefit of a blade right?
I guess maybe if you're super left-handed and you cut with your left hand, so, you know, like we run these with our right hand, so we're looking at it on our left.
Yeah.
If you were super left-handed, it would be incredibly hard to run that saw.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you find more and more saws, well, especially rear handle, they're all blade left.
I've never seen a blade right rear handle, which is weird because I'm sure there's some people that want them.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah, if you're left-handed.
Clayton's left-handed. He actually cuts with his skill saw like this.
Really? See, and I'm right-handed, so that's why like my old Ridgid just circular saw is blade right, and it was terrible.
I hate them.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, the dust is, you're constantly cutting like this, and like, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, you're always trying to like look, or for me, I would always try to look through the blade.
Right.
I just hate
Or you're
it.
like looking straight down on it.
Yeah.
Alright guys, well, let's get Drew to 1,000 subs
Yeah.
with this video. Hit like and subscribe. We'll have more content from these two platforms. We're running these head to head on a project coming up in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for another, what would you say, an official review, or like a trial and error review.
Trial, yeah.
This is just our like first takes, and ultimately we're happy with it. Just, it might be getting returned, really it will. So, hit the like, hit the subscribe, we're almost there. We're gonna start hammering out content. We're kind of talking about doing a third sister channel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of break news for that. It's gonna be more business, entrepreneur, mindset, startup, how to.
Yeah.
Focus more on like our age, you know, young 30s.
We were talking the other day, and I actually heard this on a podcast this morning of a guy saying, a very successful businessman was saying that basically the problems that you've gone through in the last year as us as young business owners, now being partners, but like the challenge we faced in the last year to 5 years, there are people just like us, new business owners, are potentially wanting to be business owners that are going through all the struggles, trials that we just have went through.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we talk about as our goal. If we can offer any help to young guys just like us, or even if you're older and now with the recession, you're trying, you know, you're thinking, well, I can go out, start a handyman business, start a carpentry business, trim. I mean, and you
on the
can.
side.
Yeah.
But just how to do it correctly, some do's and don'ts. You know, there's a lot of things that Drew and I have come across individually, and then also as partners that helped us progress. That, like, if we would have seen.
So thanks for watching, guys. Alex has been killing it with a lot of great content. He's puts out great content on Ridgid, and it's all just construction stuff. It's kind of, we just have separate channels, but it's everything you've seen here. So if you've watched this channel and you like the content, make sure to go to check out Swantech Enterprise that we've linked down below. We really appreciate all you guys out there supporting us, watching our channel. So please hit like, hit subscribe, check out his channel, and keep hammering.
Thanks, guys.